From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Good evening, Nashville. Welcome to SportsLine right here on News Channel 5 Plus. Jon Burton with you for the next hour. Hope you're staying cool on this hot, steamy, sultry night in Music City and in Middle Tennessee. We did it today, triple digits, 100 degrees. First time in 10 years that we hit triple digits on the old temperature. I remember it well because, well, it was my first summer here in Nashville, and I'd never, being from the Northeast, I never really spent a day in 100-degree temperature, so it was quite an eye-opener. So much to get to tonight. What a summer it is shaping up to be here in Nashville. We're talking auto racing and pro wrestling. And, yeah, we got, Titans training camp later on and some other stuff, and the Preds just made a sale. We got a lot to get to, but the guy that's going to help us break it all down is one of my favorites here in Nashville, a guy that I should have had on this show a long, long time ago. He is the program director, the brand manager at 102.5 The Game. He co-hosts a midday show with Darren McFarland and Willie Donick. We are speaking, of course, about the great Nashville's own Chase McCabe joining us in studio for the entire hour. Chase, buddy, we should have done this a long time ago. Please charge it to my head, not my heart. You know I love you, man. You're my guy. You know, we've hung out socially. I've seen you at many, all kinds of games and stuff. I'm shooting here when I say this because we're talking wrestling. I'm shooting when I say this. You do a phenomenal job at everything you do, and I know that you are so committed to this city. You know, you're from here, you're born and raised here, and you've been put in a position to where you can really make a difference here in Nashville and in the community and the sports media. And you've done an unbelievable job, man. I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to have you here on the Wednesday extravaganza, man.
I'm happy to be here, John. I thought you were going to be like the icon, the main event, Mr. WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, you're all those things.
But no, I'm excited to be here, John, because this is, I've loved working with you and hanging out with you and stuff. So finally we're able to do this and talk racing and wrestling and all those things.
We're going to talk so many things. We only have an hour.
I know.
We might have to do another hour tonight.
My career is similar to that of Triple H. Like yes. I like to say that yes. I had to work my way up, and now I'm the boss. So
and you work for the game. You are the game.
I am the game.
Because you're that damn good. Well, in addition to all your duties at 102.5 The Game, you also host a great podcast called Chase and Checkers, where you do all kinds of stuff on NASCAR. And of course, this week the Ally 400 back here in Nashville at Nashville Speedway. Second year for that. Great to have Cup Series racing back here in Nashville. You and I covered last year's race. Yeah. You were the PA announcer for the entire race. Did a great job. I know you're doing that again. Year two. Yeah. And, we saw excited the fans were, maybe not so much with the traffic going in and out, but certainly to have Cup Series racing here. Like I said, you're Nashville born and raised, and you're a NASCAR fan your whole life. It's got to feel amazing to have Cup Series racing back.
It's awesome. Like last year was just such a crazy weekend, but an awesome weekend at the same time, because I had waited so long to see a Cup Series race at either that track, the Nashville Super Speedway, or the fairgrounds, or somewhere in this city. And not only did I get to see that, I got to be a part of it, which was really, really cool. And so I can remember, calling my parents afterwards, like, we did it. It went off. Kyle Larson won the thing, dominated. But year two is going to be awesome. And, you brought up the traffic. They've done a lot of stuff to fix that and to expedite the process to get in and out of the racetrack. I mean, the track was closed for 10 years. They hadn't done it in a while. And they never had crowds like that before. And so they worked through some things, and you had 3 different law enforcement companies that were telling each other what to do, and so they've worked through it, and I think it's going to be much better this year. But I'm excited to be with my man Joe Williams again and be up in the booth for all 3 days.
That's awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and Eric Moses, the president of Nashville Speedway, has just done a tremendous job. And talking to him last year, he said, listen, we got some things we got to work out, but like you said, you're working on the traffic. What kind of other stuff can we expect different this year as opposed to last year, you think?
Well, as you opened the show talking about the heat wave that we have had. It is going to be pretty hot this weekend. They're going to have a lot of areas that you can go and stay cool with misting stations.
Nice.
And you can bring your own water in, which is really cool. They'll have $4 waters, and they'll have water filling stations stations if you bring your own bottles, and that you can do that. So they're trying to do things to help people stay cool, which is awesome, because I can remember last year standing by the stage to do driver intros, I thought I was going to melt. So I can only imagine what the fans feel. But, you know, Eric is a great guy. Eric knows exactly what he's doing. And I remember sitting talking to him after the race, and he's like, okay, he's already got a list of things that, okay, we can do this better and do this better. And now you bring in Speedway Motorsports that purchased the track with Marcus Smith, and unfortunately the news coming out today, Bruton Smith, the founder, passing away. But that company knows what they're doing too, and so you combine those two things, and that's going to help it all. One
of the great things I saw last year is how everybody got involved. You know, you saw Bernard Pollard, the former Titan safety. You know, he was the official race starter. He's become such a big NASCAR fan. I know you've talked to him. I've talked to him, and you know, I love Bernard when he was a player, and he's that dude, right? You know, you know, Alvin Kamara, the All-Pro running back, former Tennessee Vol, you know, the New Orleans Saints. He was involved in it. So many people from all different walks of life. Pitbull. So many different people from different walks of life, letting people know, hey, NASCAR is fun. It's fan-friendly. It's not what you think, and maybe it's not what it used to be, which, you know, is probably a positive. There's something for everybody with NASCAR. I didn't realize that until just recently, and it maybe took me going to the track last year and experience what I experienced, saying, wow, NASCAR's cool. NASCAR's fun, man.
I love it. And Michael Jordan is a co-owner, and I believe he's going to be here in Nashville. So his greatness and MJ in the house. The GOAT. But, you know, you're right. And they have done a really good job over the last several years. And, you know, Bubba Wallace has taken the reins on this of, it's for everyone. It's not just for the Southeast anymore. Even though the roots are there, and they honor those roots of going to those tracks like Darlington and Bristol and Atlanta and places that have been around, Nashville, for a while, but they know that it's for everyone. And I think that is so cool. And BP is you know, because it all happened during COVID, and iRacing happens, and so he gets on that and is hilarious when he's running races. But, you know, we've had him on the show, and I'll text him every now and then like, dude, I love how much you have embraced this. And so it's cool. And the television ratings are showing it. Like, the sport is growing back to where it once was, and I think that's awesome.
What hit home for me, I think, Chase, was, you know, 2 years ago when we had everything going on socially, and the situation with, you know, finding the noose in Bubba's garage, and everybody from NASCAR standing behind Bubba. I know a lot of, you know, people were saying, oh, it was a publicity stunt and this and that. Look, I can't speak to that, but what I can speak to is seeing the images of all the drivers get behind Bubba, who, you know, who folks that don't know, he's, you know, the only African-American driver on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. And he's pretty good. You know, he's been runner-up at Daytona twice, I believe. At least once that I can remember.
Twice,
he's been runner-up at Daytona twice. He's going to win one of these days.
He won at Talladega last year.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that they got behind this guy, I don't know if that happens 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So that kind of told me that NASCAR is saying, listen, you know, forget what you heard, forget what you think you know about NASCAR. It's for everybody. It's family entertainment. And I just remember the crowd last year, how excited they were, and just, it was almost like a sense of relief, like we have it back. You know, we wanted it to come back for so long, and I know you alluded to, you know, the fairgrounds. I know that's the next step, right? That's where we, you know, we want a Cup Series race over at the fairgrounds. What do you think? Is that coming?
I think eventually it could get there. My hope is, because I love this sport so much, I want it at both places, because I think both places can do it.
2 races a year, one at the Speedway, one at the fairgrounds.
And they're two different tracks, and so you're going to attract, you know, at the fairgrounds it's going to be the old school short track racing. You know, that you'll get them. And then you'll get people that don't know that much about the sport and learning the sport and like it, you know, kind of in a casual sense, that could go to the super speedway. And I think that's fine. You sell out both places. I've talked to several of the drivers, and I've thrown that to them of like, hey, would you guys, because drivers hate going to the same place twice, except for a few exceptions.
Right, Charlotte, Talladega, some of the
Daytona,
some of the more well-known tracks.
But they've all said, well, we love Nashville. So if we can come to Nashville 3 times a year, if you include the banquet, and go to 2 different racetracks, that's a win. And so I think it would go over well. And the fact that Speedway Motorsports is trying to get involved in the fairgrounds, they are involved in the super speedway, it just makes sense because they can all work together and be under the same umbrella.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Larson, who won last year's race, and he had a dominant year last year. For those that may not be keeping up, bring us up to date on what we've seen so far on the NASCAR Cup Series.
Well, Larson has won a race, but he's won a race.
Right.
And
he had, what, about half a dozen, it seemed like
10.
this time last year.
He had 10 last year, including here in Nashville. But it's been a different year in a good way because they introduced this next-gen car, and so all the drivers went into this going, I don't know what the heck it's going to do. It was a great year to be a rookie because you're on a level playing field with the veteran drivers, and so we've seen a lot of different winners, including a lot of first-time winners. Trackhouse Racing, which is Justin Marks and Pitbull, they own that team, based here in Nashville. Justin lives in Nashville. The Tootsie's car will be on the track with Daniel Suarez. He just got his first Cup Series win. Ross Chastain, his teammate, has gotten some wins. So Larson's run well, but he's not dominating like he did last year because nobody really is. It's an even playing field. And I think as you try and build new fans, like, that's what you want. You want to see competition like this. Now, do I think as they get used to this car, we get into the summer months and go back to some tracks that they've been to, could the cream rise to the top? Oh yeah. I think it certainly could.
Yeah.
But and Larson's going to be one to watch, and Chase Elliott. But I think that's been really cool to see, it more of a close pack right now with, realistically 15, maybe 20 drivers in it right now.
Because it kind of got boring last year because you just knew Kyle Larson was probably going to win.
Yeah, well, you knew him or somebody from Hendrick, Chase Elliott or whatever. I mean, the Gibbs guys were getting in there too. But, Kyle Busch is in the mix, and Denny's won a couple of races this year. But I just think close competition for a sport like NASCAR is what you want.
No doubt about it. 615-737-7767. Give us a call. You can talk with me and Chase McCabe. We're just getting started here on SportsLine. Got a lot more NASCAR to talk. We're going to talk some Titans, talk some Preds, and we're going to talk some pro wrestling as well. It's all coming up here on SportsLine. Stay with us.